Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much. So this afternoon's session is around sharing. And I wanted to talk to you about a form of sharing, really, an experience of sharing that has been around for generations, for thousands of years, almost going back to the start of civilization itself. And that is theatre, performing arts, culture. Now, theatre is something I'm passionate about. It's something that I've been involved with since a child. My family was involved in theatre, and some of them still are. My brother's an actor. He's definitely more used to standing on the stage with the spotlight than I am. But theatre was always a fascinating thing, and it's part of my life now. And the reason I'm passionate about it is that there's something special, something very unique about theatre. A lot of it's to do with the anticipation of theatre. It starts from the moment that you walk into an auditorium, any auditorium, including something like this, a place like this. It's a collection of people who are settling in to their seats and not sure about the expectation that's about to happen before them. And then as the actors come out onto stage, performing the great works, speaking the words of great writers with sets and costumes and lighting that really transport you and take you away from the everyday world. And it's been like that since the start. The root of theatre is often said to be in ancient Greece, 5000 BC, when huge amphitheatres of people would sit and congregate to enjoy the spectacle of the dramas, the comedies, the tragedies that played out before them. This collective act, this unifying act of people being in the same place, sharing in that relationship between human voice. And that has only continued to grow, and the theatre industry is huge now. But it's something about that connectivity is what keeps people coming and why it's so popular. You know, even in a global recession, something keeps bringing people back to theatre. It's the industry that keeps breaking box office records. Back in the UK, year on year, more people come and share in the experience. And as I say, it's that connection between the audience and the stage. So Romain Rolland, who's a French literary scholar, back in 1903 said, "There's only one necessary condition for the emergence of a new theatre, that the stage and the auditorium should be open to the masses, should be able to contain a people and the actions of a people." And it's that concept about a new theatre and an emergence of new theatre which I'd like to focus on and with you today. What if, because I've got a question, what if we broke away from the four walls of theatre and expanded that? Is it essential that to enjoy and experience and share and participate in theatre that it has to be live? If we step away from that and expand it into a global scale, then what could that bring? A global auditorium. And some of these ideas were what were going through our minds when we started the company 4 or 5 years ago, called digital theatre. The idea being that we could create a place where people from all around the world could join and participate at any one time when they wanted to, in the comfort of your own home, or even your classroom, a global auditorium. So where did it begin? Well, filming theatre has always been around for a long time. Often that's done as a reference, as an archive almost, 1 or 2 cameras at the back of the auditorium, capturing what's happening on stage, but in a way that is very challenging to engage with. The connectivity between the two is lost, hence the liveness being the unique part. So what we wanted to do was try a different approach. We wanted to pare that back in the same way when theatre is transported into cinemas as well. It's a very conscious filming. Extra lighting, seats taken out, extra cameras. There's a distraction there, and that unique focus between the actor and the audience is disrupted. So our approach was to take things differently. It was to pare that back, to have small remote cameras dotted around the auditorium, so that the capturing of the work and the performance on stage could occur. It's a difference between filming. It's not a film, it's not theatre. It's a combination of the two. That by doing that, you can actually align the theatre production, the film version, very close to the real. That was the concept, and we thought, we'll try and build this auditorium where we could showcase the work, open up those walls, and extend the audience. There was many challenges ahead, mainly rooted in the fact that the experience of film theatre historically had been poor. Like I say, the connection between the two hadn't been very good. And so that people felt, particularly the performers and the directors, that actually filming theatre was very difficult to do. So there's a lot of trust that had to be overcome. It's about working and collaborating so that the representation of the work that is on film is as close to that real experience on stage. Then what we do is we film 3 or 4 productions, 2 or 3 maybe normally, take that away, edit that material together, again in collaboration with the director, so that it's not our interpretation, it's an aligned version that sits close to that real experience. Then there was a sense of, okay, there's the films, let's build the auditorium, using technology, using platforms to expand. We are a digital company that allows and works very much within the theatre, which is an exciting space to be, but allow the distribution to the outside world. So I'm going to show you a bit of the work that we've done and give you an example of the films that we've made.
She is a fair lady.
I confess nothing.
So as you can see, thank you. As you can see, hopefully, you can see the close-ups that we use there are very much similar to what you got on film, on TV. And so what you're able to use is the power of the close-up, the power of the cutaway, and you're able to therefore follow the emotional line of the play in a way that by just having a wide shot, you can't do. And so by combining film language with theatre language, you're really able to accentuate that. Because as we're all here in any auditorium or watching any stage play, your eye does a focusing in. You don't watch it in widescreen. You're directed to where to look. You're directed to what to see. You're directed whether it's somebody talking on stage or in fact it's the reaction shot of the character they're talking to. And so we've been looking to perfect that and get that better and better and expand that. So what does that mean as a future? If a global auditorium can exist, where theatre and performance can coexist, what does that mean? Well, fundamentally it means that the 4 walls of a traditional theatre space are completely open. It means that an audience isn't just rooted into the city or the town that it's performed in. The world is the audience. And what that means is that ideas and storytelling and creative inspiration can then be garnered from thousands, millions of people around the world. It's also very important for education. One of the things that was very passionate to us at Digital Theatre is the ability to communicate and share these ideas with children and students. And so we subscribe this as a package into schools and universities to allow them to complement their studies and the texts and the stage plays. Of course, it's very important that languages, science, and maths, etc. are studied. But increasingly so, and more importantly so, as time goes on, so is culture. It's an art form that is getting more and more sidelined, and actually it needs to be embraced because the learning and the power of theatre is so strong. The ability to inspire, educate, and influence. It's also an opportunity for the nations around the world to communicate ideas. Theatre and culture often is the conversation. It's the conversational point. It's almost the voice of the people. It comes through performance, through dance, through drama, and so being able to have a global platform where that can occur and that we can share that amongst ourselves, then what learning, what power can continue to happen? And of course, then, by having an ancient, age-old institution such as theatre and culture fully embrace digital technologies, fully embrace digital platforms, again, the potential is huge. I think social media, people connecting together, watching plays all at the same time around the world, as we do with our global watch-alongs, we call them, where we line people up across different time zones to watch the play at the same time, and then connect through social media with similar fans. Again, commenting on the performances, connecting with each other, being inspired. For languages, hard of hearing, people with deaf communities, subtitling on theatre. We're used to it on film, why not theatre? Why not be able to expand that and, again, communicate these ideas to all kinds of people around the world? So we're excited about the future of it. We're excited about where that might go. And I think, going back to the previous slide, going back to Raymond Rolland's comments, you know, the important thing about any theatre is the ability to share it with the masses, for the masses to be able to come together and communicate. And that can be in the physical space, or indeed it could be in a digital space, and allow the power of theatre to educate, communicate, and inspire into the future. Thank you very much.